my craft is death.
What is your pledge?
My pledge is eternal service.
Warhammer 40k is a reality where toxic masculinity never got addressed, disliking people for being different than you isn't just a choice but an expectation, and the masses worship the Emperor of Mankind, John Warhammer. It feels weird going from that intro to saying I've been a fan of the franchise for about 17 years now, but try not to read into that too much. Space Marine 1 takes place on the Forge world of Graia during an orc invasion, and the Blueberry Brigade gets sent in led by Captain Titus to show the Greenskins that they are in fact not the biggest or the strongest. Eventually you find out Chaos Undivided is also present on Graia, which leads to one of your teammates questioning your loyalty because the warp doesn't seem to affect you, and leads to a big showdown between Titus and an ascended Nemeroth. Leandros proves himself to be a real D-bag and calls Space Daddy on Titus, getting Titus arrested, but he doesn't leave without dealing the sickest burn by 40k standards.
But how we live with those rules is the true test of a Space Marine. And you have failed.
Space Marine 2 takes place on a few worlds, but the catalyst for the beginning of the game is a Tyranid invasion. This time you play as Lieutenant Titus, as a member of Deathwatch, which is way cooler, before the Blueberries make their triumphant return and pull you back into mediocrity. I actually don't mind the Ultramarines, but their whole thing is being generically good at everything. And Titus once again shows the enemy that they aren't in fact the buggiest or the hungriest. This time Chaos shows up in the form of the Thousand Suns, and Titus gets his groove back, defeating Imra in the process. Right before they all clicked like on the video.
Hey Carl, go to Mum's, kill Phil, sorry, grab Liz, go to the Winchester, have a nice cold pint, and wait for all this to blow over.
The first game was made capitalizing on the popularity of the third-person genre at the time, like the Gears of War series. But what makes this franchise stand out aside from the setting is the need to stay in combat to regain health, forcing you to press forward no matter what, which is very on brand for Warhammer 40k. Space Marine 2 is PvP, which is fun but not the main focus for the devs, and PvE, which the devs keep adding to like the recent Trigon update you can check out in another video. Eventually there's a Horde mode coming, which I'm super excited about, and they announced the next champion to be from the White Scars chapter, which I totally predicted because I'm a giant nerd. And that's why my Assault Marine already looks like a White Scar. Anyway, Space Marine 1 did a lot of things right, but I'm not going to suggest it was perfect, so I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Space Marine 2 improved upon 1 in a lot of cool ways, and that last stand part of the story gives me chills. So I am suggesting that this game was perfect, and giving it a 10 out of 10. Making Space Marine 1 and 2 the 11th and 12th stones on the road to 1,000 games.